Welcome to the Springfield Township Board of Trustees meeting. It's October 12, 2021 at approximately 5 p.m. Mr. Burning, can we have a roll call?
Yes, Ms. Davis?
Present.
Mr. Honolo?
Present.
Mr. Burning?
Present.
All the trustees are present.
We could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular session on September 14, 2021, and the regular work session on September 28, 2021. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Mr. Burning, if we could have a fiscal report, please.
Yes. For the month ending September 30th, 2021, the township expenditures were $2,031,450.81, and receipts were $333,786.91. The ending cash balance of $31,564,757.04 includes obligations for expenditures, payroll, regular operating costs, ongoing capital improvement projects, and investments. I do request a motion to approve receipts, warrants, payroll expenditures, update and current revenue and reports for the period ending 9/30/21. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, motion carries. And I want everyone to know that financial reports are available for viewing at our administration offices during regular business hours or on our website 24/7. Thank you, Mr. Burning.
Thank you. Mr. Gilbert, do you have departmental action and discussion items, please?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Burning. The first action item I have on the agenda tonight is our Finneytown Local School District Student SRO agreement. Essentially, it's obviously a position where we employ a full-time police officer within the Finneytown local schools as a school resource officer, and this is the same agreement, same terms and conditions that we've had in years past as we've done with Finneytown. Chief, if you have anything to comment on regarding this.
Yeah, we just have a new school resource officer this year. Officer Emily Smith is doing her first year as that position.
So it seems to be going well. So with that being said, I would just ask for a motion authorizing the administrator to sign that agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is I'm requesting a motion to authorize staff to apply to the Ohio Township Stimulus Program for a road project for the Long Lane area. The project the application would allow for possible grant funding in the amount of $250,000. It would require a local match given the engineer's estimates for that project of $900,000. However, it is $250,000 less than we would have to spend here locally if we were to be successful in that grant request. So again, just asking for a motion to authorize staff to apply for that program for that particular project. I don't know, Mike, if you want to say anything regarding that or not.
No, you summarized it well.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And lastly, I guess we'll do something novel here and we'll actually make Halloween officially on Halloween. Seems like a lot of communities want to do it on a different night, but here we're, I guess, somewhat traditionalist. So we will have Halloween on October 31st from 6 to 8. At least that's the recommendation if the board is so inclined.
That's a Sunday.
It is.
That sounds fine to me. I'll make a motion to that effect.
So moved. A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And once again, as we say every year, if it's raining or storming or lightning or snowing, as it has in past years, it is completely up to you as a parent whether to send your kid out or not us. So, because believe it or not, we will get those phone calls. So, with that
In other
being,
words, it's going on no matter what.
Yes.
Yeah.
generally, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll be a lovely evening.
Under discussion items, I think this is pretty exciting news. Not that it's anything new for us, but I think it's a testament to the staff that we have in Kim Cox and in the finance department, as well as all of our department heads that manage their budget and our expenditures and our purchase order processing in the way that we do. Given the fact that we're pretty innovative and creative with the way that we do things here operationally, the fact that we have a lot of grants that we receive because, again, staff is so innovative and persistent in seeking out grant opportunities, and not to mention the fact of the federal funding that we received over the past 2 years with very stringent requirements in terms of expending that money. Our last audit, through the state auditor's office, was a completely clean audit, no citations, warnings, anything of that nature, which I think sounds like it should be that way, and it really should, except that if people, were to peel behind the curtain sometimes and just see how those audits work, the auditors are always looking for something. And a lot of times it's just interpretive issues, and it isn't necessarily something that's illegal or legal. It's just they interpret it differently than we do. It doesn't necessarily mean they're right and we're wrong, but in this case, completely clean audit, and I think that's a testament to, again, the board setting forth policies and how we expend money and account for the finances here, which we take very seriously, as well as staff in taking such great care and respecting the due process and policies we have in place to make purchases and expenditures. So kudos again to Kim Cox, our finance director, for a great job in working with the auditors and getting through this audit, which was a little more difficult than in years past, mainly, again, due to a lot of the federal money that came through.
The other issue is sometimes they change what they want us to do with stuff, so that's causes problems also.
Depends on who you ask.
Exactly.
No, that is great news, and it's really important. I mean, and you see jurisdictions that have, they can't pass their audits, and they have problems, and that's one of the hallmarks is, we've always been very cautious with the taxpayers' money, and again, Chris, I thank you and Mr. Burning and Kim and Michelle and everybody that puts in all the time and effort to make sure our books are perfect. That's an important thing.
Yeah, and again, we do some pretty, it's not necessarily odd, it's just that we do some pretty unique stuff here, which makes us as innovative and efficient as we are with our Community Improvement Corporation that we have with, Arts Connect, well, that's it, yeah. And then we have, we're the administrative agency for DART, which is a multi-jurisdictional drug task force. So that's all part of that as well. And that's all federal money that comes through. So there's some pretty unique things that, especially our finance people are responsible for overseeing. And they don't have a lot of peers to lean on in terms of how to best practices because no other jurisdiction does that stuff. So it's due to the unique nature of what they're responsible for and the fact that they went through the audit and came out on the other side as clean as it was, I think is, again, just a testament to their professionalism and their ability to, again, implement the policies that the board has set forth.
I just want to say, I think it's about doing the right thing and documenting that you've done the right thing.
Sure.
And our people have always been very good at that. And I would echo that as well, because audits are hard. I've gone through them with many jurisdictions, and they're difficult, but one of the things we do well is do the right thing and document it, so that everyone knows we've done the right thing. So it is a big deal. So congratulations to all involved.
All right. Next is the personnel update. In the fire department, we had the resignation of Anthony Lagori as a part-time EMT firefighter. We had the new hires of, apologize, my screen switched. David Blackthorne, Orlando Cantera, Bradley Everhart, Rachel Poe, Trent Estes, Cody Swall, all within the fire department. Again, these are all part-time individuals, and we're grateful that within this very difficult job market that we're still attracting and retaining part-time individuals in our fire department, which allows us to be much more efficient with our resources and that line of public safety than a lot of other jurisdictions that are completely full-time. Our part-time aspects of our operations are very important to us financially, and our ability to attract good part-time individuals is very important. So I'm glad to see that we had that many new recruits part-time wise. Great job, Chief. In the Public Works Department, we had the resignation of Nick Beck. I think he moved on into the Border Patrol, correct?
That is correct.
So I knew we knew he was with us seasonally and kind of hung on until he got his sort of aspirational job, which for him, we congratulate him and moving on and doing what he actually wanted to do. So we wish him the best of luck. Seems like he's going to need it down there.
He's in New Mexico in training right now.
Yes.
And then we had the new hire of Nathan Ballack as part-time labor. He started September 21st. So lose one, replace one. And then I'm sorry?
He's full-time.
Yeah, full-time, I'm sorry.
Might be worried.
You might be, yeah. I apologize. I was looking below at the dart. We did have the new hire of Robert Browder, which some of you may recognize that name, as the part-time dart commander. So Chief Browder obviously retired from the Springfield Township Police Department about 2 months ago, and he has now taken a position with the DART, Multi-Jurisdictional Drug Task Force, as their commander. Given the experience that he has and us being the administrative agency, I think it was a no-brainer for the DART board to approve his appointment as the DART commander. I think just to reiterate to everyone and to the board, we are the administrative agency for DART, and technically DART employees are our employees, but we really, the decisions in terms of their employment is really the DART board. The DART board gets to pick who their commander is. And we, as administrative agency, we are simply sort of a pass-through mechanism for that process. So we wish them the best of luck at DART, and that, again, I think that benefits Springfield Township, but that we have our former chief running the county-wide drug task force. That only benefits us here, and then we have access to those resources probably at a level greater than maybe some other communities. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Kim now for community events and programs.
Thank you. This Saturday, the Springfield Township Police Department is hosting their Community Shred event. It is in the back parking lot where the Arts Center in Grove is, and that event goes from 9 a.m. until noon. On the following weekend, October the 24th, trustees are going to be leading a walk at Water Nature Preserve, where they will reveal some plans for the future. On October the 29th, right before Halloween, that Friday night, Arts Connect is running their Moonlight Movie Night event, and that is featuring the movie Scoob. There's going to be trick-or-treating, a hay maze, pumpkin painting, coffee, hot chocolate, fire pit. It'll be a really fun time. Everything is free. Concessions available for purchase. And then November the 12th and 13th will be the Arts Connect Local Art Show, which is down at Centennial Barn. It's a 2-day art show over 2 floors. And for the second day of that, on November the 13th, we did line up Brett Harper, which is Charlie Harper's son, to do a talk on the life of Charlie Harper, and that is a separate ticketed event. We can take up to 40 people for that program.
Thank you.
So Kim, a couple quick questions. One, what makes you think why the camp has doubled the last 2 years? Like, we were going along, we knew we were going to start out slow, and then it doubled in 20, and then it doubled again in 21?
For camp?
The classes.
Oh, for class, well, that was directly related to the renovation of the Art Center.
And also along those lines, everyone should know that starting in January, you are going to have cooking classes.
We are going to be having cooking classes, definitely for kids, and we're going to be doing full workshops for kids so they could do healthy after-school cooking classes. And then for the adults, we're going to be doing workshops. So our fundraising did get completed, and we were able to purchase a portable cooking cart and we've hired on 3 instructors. So we're just now putting the curriculum together and kind of buttoning up that project before we launch it. And yeah, we'll be starting that in January. So very excited, and that is in the name of our former board member, board member Debbie Vargo.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening back there. As Kim indicated, the class registrations and the activity at that center has exploded.
Kim, just for the record, or for anybody that's listening, I've had a lot of people say, I don't know what classes they have, what's going on back there. Can you just kind of run through some of the offerings now?
Sure. So for adults, we've got everything from drawing and painting, leatherworking, woodworking, blacksmithing, sewing, quilting. It goes on. For kids, we're doing digital animation. We're doing drawing and painting classes. We've got a pottery studio down there, so our classes start at 9 years old, and I think our oldest student has been like 98. So we're doing everything from the pottery wheels to hand building. We've actually grown the pottery class so much that we've got 2 kilns now just to be able to kind of keep up with the demand. It's growing by leaps and bounds right now. We're showing the Ohio Watercolor Society's art show, and we're representing the Cincinnati market. So it's a traveling show that goes to 5 cities in Ohio. So we got the Cincinnati market. We've had a lot of people recently within this last month bringing up groups to kind of tour and see the watercolor exhibit, and they're just amazed at the resources that we have back here, in our own backyard of where was this place before, a lot of surprised people every time they walk in.
And where can they go to register or sign up for classes? Do you have a website?
Our website is theartsconnect.us. So all of our program listings are all back there. And our new activity guidebook will be coming out in December, and it will cover January through June. It's going to go out to 6,000 people here locally, and then an additional 5,000 will be distributed through the Cincy magazine.
It's The Arts Connect Us.
theartsconnect.us.us. Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. Great work, as always. With that, the board has copies of the departmental activity reports, so unless there are any questions regarding those, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Next on the agenda, we have resolution, and we'll start with resolution number 101-2021, authorizing private sale of unneeded and unfit for use property in the police department. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Honolaw.
Aye.
Mr. Bernie.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 102-2021, supplemental appropriations within the general fund, police district fund, fire district fund, coronavirus relief reimbursement fund, local fiscal recovery fund, ambulance and emergency medical services fund, residential recycling incentive program fund, task force grant fund, and establishing appropriation account and local fiscal recovery fund. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Honolaw.
Aye.
Mr. Bernie.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 103-2021, authorizing Mark Burning, Chairman of the Board of Springfield Township Trustees, to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs, and to execute contracts as required for the Brentwood Rehabilitation Project. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Honolaw.
Aye.
Mr. Bernie.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 104-2021, authorizing Mark Burning, Chairman of the Board of Springfield Township Trustees, to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission state capital improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs, and to execute contracts as required for the Galbraith Road Improvement Project. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is Resolution Number 105-2021, authorizing Mark Burning, Chairman of the Board of Springfield Township Trustees, to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or Local Transportation Improvement Programs, and to execute contracts as required for the Pleasant Run Farms Rehabilitation Project. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is Resolution Number 106-2021, declaring nuisances pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 505.87 at various listed properties within Springfield Township and authorizing statutory actions necessary to abate the nuisances. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is Resolution Number 107-2021, establishing assessment for abatement of nuisance and certifying same to the Hamilton County Auditor. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Thank you. Do we have any old business?
I do.
You do.
I do.
Ms. Davis.
Thank you. I just want to take a couple moments. This past Friday, we had a movie night in the park at Clifford George Park in the Pleasant Run Farms neighborhood. The board, myself and my colleagues on the board asked staff maybe a couple weeks ago if we could possibly take their show on the road and take the movie night to one of our neighborhood parks in our local community. And within a few days, we got a call back with a confirmation that that they were going to have the movie out at Pleasant Run Farms. I went out Friday night, and it was just a fantastic event. Kudos to Mike Gould and his staff and Public Works for cleaning that park up. I was speaking with staff, and they told me that they had been there all week cleaning up, and it was kind of a mess out there, but they did a tremendous job cleaning the park up. Chief Leininger, your staff were out there manning the fire pit, making sure that the kids were able to roast their s'mores safely. Chief Blythe, fortunately, we didn't need your guys out there, but I'm sure if we needed, you would have been there right away. I just want to give kudos to staff and I want the residents to know how all of our department heads and departments work together as a team here in the township. And a lot of other places can't say that, and the residents should know and be proud of the staff that we have here in the township and willing to take their show on the road when we're used to just having events back here in our little common area back there. There was a lot of work that went into putting that movie night on last week, and the residents, quite a few that I was speaking with that night, really appreciated us coming out. So I just wanted to thank you all for all the hard work you did for putting that on for us. That's my old business.
Do you have any old business?
Just under old business, I would say, and this is going through our department activity reports, Chief Leininger, I see here that this month we had 693 fire and EMS responses, and that was an all-time record for the department. And, on a 30-day month, that's 23 a day. Yes. We are a busy department.
We are.
Yeah.
And it's and if people ask me why that is, I can't blame it on COVID, because we're seeing an increase pretty much all the way across the board. We've seen an increase in our fire details, our EMS calls. So I think it's just a busy time, and people are getting outside and enjoying the weather and so on, and as a result, they're more active, and sometimes they slip and fall, and they call us. So, but we're here if they need us, and we're proud to serve.
I just want to say, too, the fire open house, that was really well attended, and I think everybody that was there really really enjoyed it. And it's been a while since we had it,
It's
so
been 4 years
that's hard to
since we've
believe.
had that.
Yeah.
It was an annual event, and then
Yeah.
we went to every other year.
Yeah.
But with COVID and things, we kept backing it up. But I've got a great staff. I can't take the credit. This was delegated months ago, and just like Christine was saying, that we've got a great staff. And when you ask them to do something, they step up and they give it 110%. And I think the success of our activities show that. So we are truly blessed to have such a great staff.
It's a great event for kids. All the kids were having a blast putting out the fires, fake fires on the house, and I think you let a couple of those fires burn a little too long though, Rob.
But we have just as much fun as they do.
I do have to ask, though, the placement of the little fake house where they sprayed the water at was that strategic where that was?
You must be making a point.
Well, I'm just wondering because it seemed like you were doing two things at once. The kids were having fun putting out the fake fire, but they were also washing cars coming in the driveway behind it. So I wasn't.
No, I think that was just a coincidence.
Gotcha. All right.
Gotcha.
Do we have any new business?
I do not.
The only thing under new business, and I told some of the residents down on Galbraith Road, this would be West Galbraith Road, west of Winton, that we would look into. They're complaining that, the road was 4 lanes. It was reduced to 2 lanes by the county engineer back when it was retrofitted a number of years ago. And I know the county engineer at that time talked about they were required to do it for federal funding, but they might go back to 4 lanes later. They're claiming there's a lot of accidents, and so if we could look at the statistics, chief, and I'd like to get back to them and let them know what the statistics say. And
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't seen anything just off the top of our head with the many accidents, but Galbraith and Winton is a very busy intersection, one of the busiest in the county, so we can get that information to you.
okay. And then the only other thing was this evening is on our nuisance resolution. If you look at that, we kind of see the same thing. I see Vinebrook, at least a couple. We see some others. Of the ones that are here, probably half are some sort of investment company. And I know, Mike, you had met with Vinebrook, and we're trying to get a better line of communication with them and try and knock down on these or get better compliance with our maintenance code.
Yeah, we've had the pleasure of meeting with Vinebrook twice since the last trustees meeting. I'm happy to share that the number of open cases that Vinebrook owns, properties where we've declared nuisance, has been reduced by 50%. You do see a few more that are coming in, but if you look back at previous resolutions, that's down significantly. They're very open to any feedback that we provide to them, and so far they've been very responsive. So now it seems like we've filed the complaints with the correct people, we're having the dialogue, and they're quickly taking action.
Okay, good. That's great.
Now we need to get the next guy on the list.
I'm sorry, what?
The next person on the list
Yes.
that has a bunch of properties, because it's, a lot of the LLCs are the problem, and they're hard to find sometimes.
Very true.
6 of 8 are investments.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, if
Thanks,
there's,
Mike.
there's no other business before the board, citizen participation, please give your name and address and approach.
Karen Chapman, 7440 View Place Drive. Resident of 46 years of Finneytown, so I've seen a lot here. I wasn't really going to speak tonight, but I thought of something when you guys started talking about roads. View Place is Hamilton County owned and managed or whatever, as you all know. All the roads that are in our, and I'm here on my own behalf, actually. I haven't really talked to anybody, so don't think this is a neighborhood presentation because it's not. But all of the roads off of View Place are townshiped, owned and cared for, whatever, at 25 miles an hour. View Place is 35 miles an hour. It's narrower than some of the roads that run off of View Place, and it's hillier than some of the roads in our driveways. Some of our driveways can't be seen. I'm noticing, I mean, if you drive it at 35, you're legal, but it's way too fast for that road. So about 2 years ago, I contacted the county, and I said, well, I drove in one day, and they were posting 35 miles an hour, and it's like, no. So I called them right away, and they told me that the state of Ohio would not let them post a lower speed limit on View Place. But they made a proposal that I'm bringing to you guys. They said they would be willing to turn the street over to Springfield Township.
I'm sure they would.
So now, I know that there's more to it than just signing a piece of paper that says okay. But you guys are on that road all the time. You very much know. 35 miles an hour is way too fast for that road. I mean, North Bend Road is 35. Winton Road is 35. View Place, come on. Fortunately, to my knowledge, you guys would know better. I don't think anyone's been injured lately, but there's a lot of walkers. There's a lot of, on View Place, not so many bike riders, and not so many young children that we had when I was raising my kids. But I just wonder if there's any chance that you guys would look at either, and it went up to Columbus, and Columbus said they wouldn't change the speed limit. I went to the county, I asked them, the guy agreed with me, the speed limit is too high, he couldn't do anything about it. He told me he went to Columbus, Columbus said no. So either you guys take it over, because you're already over there, or if you could help me maybe get that speed limit reduced to 25. And I will note, at the top of View Place, there's a yellow speed limit sign that says 25 miles an hour. And then you drive 500 feet, 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense. So I just thought I would bring that to you. And then, again, I don't know if you can do anything about it, but if you can help me out, that'd be great, before somebody gets hurt.
What did
and then-
Columbus say? I didn't catch the part. What did Columbus say?
So the county went to Columbus at my request.
Oh.
He didn't suggest that I do it. He suggested that he did it.
Oh.
Columbus said no, 35 miles an hour. And I kind of dropped it at that point, but.
Why would
they're-
Columbus care what the speed limit is on a road?
Excellent question. Why would they care? I mean, 25 miles an hour is so more reasonable. I mean, throughout Springfield Township, you look at a lot of the side streets are.
The reason they were willing to turn the road over to us is so we'll be responsible for repaving it,
Well, sure.
which probably that road would probably only cost about $1 million to repave.
Okay. What doesn't need to be repaved right now?
I know, I'm just saying, at some point, all roads need to be repaved, and I think that's, maybe we can, the only thing we can do is maybe try to see if we can reach out and see if we can't somehow get it
Yeah.
changed. I have no idea, the engineer might have gone the extra mile, but I can tell you we will. I don't know if we can get them to change it, but we can certainly try.
You know what, and honestly, I mean, I have no idea what it costs to maintain a road, but I've been there 46 years. I couldn't even, I don't think I could count on one hand how many times that it's had road work.
Well, they usually last about 20 years, but there's maintenance along the way. But we just did Hempstead, which I would guess is similar road size, and it was just under $1 million. So that's why they said we'd be happy to turn it over to the
I figured
township.
it was dollar signs were attached to it, but. you
Yeah,
know.
and the county won't collect any less taxes from you by doing that either. They'll collect the same amount of taxes with less responsibility is why they want to do it. But, you know, we will, as staff, we'll get with the chief of police and our director of infrastructure, Mike Gould, and who works very closely with the engineer's office at the county, and we'll see what we can do.
That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll reach out to you.
Okay,
We'll do what we can.
okay, I appreciate that.
Please,
know what-
after the meeting, if you could give us your contact information, we'll get back to you on what we find out.
Okay, sounds great. And then when we were talking about the investment properties and the nuisances, isn't there a limit on the number of investment properties at Springfield Township? Wasn't there some conversation about that a few years ago?
We tried,
Oh, okay.
but the federal government, which would have to implement such a regulation, was not interested in pursuing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something we wanted to do,
Yeah,
and we were told no.
yeah, it affects everything. So, all righty, well, that's all I had.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, if there is no other business before the board, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Adjourn.